You know, we all can think of real estate agents and the good and the bad. And whatever your perception may be, I'm in a world where I have just some great relationships with people that are real estate agents. I call them friends first. And so if you're looking to buy or sell real estate and maybe have an elderly parent, or you are elderly and you want someone with that touch, or if you're looking to find a way to, how do you help your kids buy a home and stay in the area that you want them to live in if they can't afford it? Well, today I'm going to introduce you to someone who's going to help solve for that. I'm so excited to have my dear friend, Maritza Perez. She's passionate about what she does. She's passionate about philanthropic organizations. She's really passionate about her husband and her family. And I'm not really looking to make an introduction or a referral. I really want you to get to know my dear friend, Maritza. So let me tell you a quick story. Maritza, I'm so glad you're here because
I'm so excited.
I love how you said, "Oh, I'm a little bit nervous." Like, I don't know what kind of questions Chris is going to interrogate me on. And then my husband has to like watch me on video, and I told deep dark secrets about our lives or something like that.
He's used to it. Yeah.
Yeah, how long have you guys been married?
18 years. Yeah, it's going to be 19.
And you and I have had some conversations in the past. I've been married 30 years. You're married 18 years. One of my favorite things to watch in your life on social media, I have very few friends I follow on social media. And I really follow my friends who I just think they're funny. And I love your personality, not just with your husband. No, I mean it, but with your kids. So we'll probably talk more personal and less business. Yeah. Let's jump right into the personal.
Okay.
You got some teenagers.
I do.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Because your personality is fun, and the videos and you on the golf course and your dances. Are your kids at that stage in life where they're like, my mom is so cool, or it's like, Mom, you are such a dork. Like, I can't believe you posted that dancing video with Kentucky with the Colonel for your Halloween thing.
I think it's a little bit of both. Like it's funny. Some of my girls will be like, Mom, you're my best friend. I'm like, no, we're not. We'll be best friends when you're like 22. Yeah. Right now, I'm still your mom. So we do have a very fun, carefree relationship, but I'm also like the disciplinarian. Like Bernie's a softie. It's like anything, not that anything goes, but I definitely am a little bit more strict parent. So it's a combo. There's definitely things that I do where they get annoyed and I'll push too hard, and then it's like, then they go into getting upset and mad, and I'm like, oh, sorry, step back. I love what you just said, because I have a ton of unsolicited opinions about everything in life. When you get older, you get to be that cynical about stuff. But I love what you said, because I think some parents say, listen, I'm not your best friend, I'm your mom. That doesn't mean we can't have this fun relationship. But it's funny because, my kids are 26, 30, and 37. And sometimes my friends will say, oh, like, I have this line that my wife hates, and I say it all the time. I love my kids. I'm so glad they're gone. Oh my gosh.
Like I mean it, and I mean it. I love my kids. I'm so glad they're gone. But I was talking with a friend of mine recently, a little bit older guy going through some teenage years for the first time. And he's like, what's it like? And I told him, I said, listen, here's what I think. My kids became normal when they turned like 23. Yeah. They were normal.
I'm waiting for that.
But it's really cool when you get through the teenage years and they become adults and they start adulting, paying their own bills. Mom, how do I do this? IRA, what is an IRA? And so I love what you just said. Like, I'm not your friend right now. I'm your mom. I'm still going to hammer you if I need to. And when you're 25, then we can become best friends. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And I'm so excited for that. I think the high school years, especially with 3 girls, it's just constant, emotions and this and friendship stuff. And it's just a hard chapter. And as much as I am trying to enjoy it, I'm excited for that chapter. Like where we're actually, high school is such a tiny moment in someone's life, but it feels like everything.
It feels so impactful
everything.
To them.
Yeah. And so I respect their feelings in that, because I remember that's what it felt like. But I can't wait till we look back and we're like, remember how,
and laugh about it.
Oh my
we
gosh,
do that all the time right now, by the way.
You're like, oh geez,
When I have 2 boys and a girl. When my daughter was going through those years, full transparency, we'd close the door, I'd look at my wife and I'm like, thank God we only have one. Oh, gosh. However, like one of our very closest friends, 2 daughters, 3 years apart. Yeah. They used to draw like tape lines down the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
They fought about everything.
Yeah.
But as you could probably imagine, they are inseparable now
Yes.
at 26 and 29.
Oh, yeah.
The best of friends. So while I was going through that season, I was grateful I didn't have two of them. Now I look back and I'm like, oh gosh, if my daughter Amanda had that one.
But
friend.
she has your wife too, and that they do
100%.
become, I feel like girls always come back, and that like I can't, I mean, the minute that I got married and started having kids, my mom was like, oh my gosh, sorry.
That's all right. I do it all the time.
I need to go back. I need to get home.
Yeah.
So it does come around, and I tell them that too when they're like going head to head. I'm like, this is the most important relationship in your life, and like the one that you should be investing in, the most. So
that's really wise because I've seen the other side of that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about work for a little bit.
Yeah.
You're selling real estate in 2025.
Yeah.
There's been some really good years and some really bad yethat right? Anyone who's been selling real estate where we are in Southern California, you're in a little bit of a higher line luxury market. You're in Coto De Caza. Not that you only sell there, but I know that that's you live there and that's really your community. So let's talk work for a little bit.
Yeah.
You are super passionate about people who are older. I want to be semi-politically correct. I rarely am.
I feel like senior's a good word.
Senior's a good
right?
word. Because my wife will hear it and she'll like, babe, you can't say that. I'm like, listen, I don't care. Like, I'm being nice. I'm not being rude. I may not hit the right buzzword.
Yeah.
But you are really passionate about helping seniors buy and sell real estate. Like, what is that? Because I know you have a beautiful relationship with your parents.
Yes.
I'm sure that's just in you.
Yeah.
Why do you love helping buy and sell real estate for seniors? Like, what is it that drives you on that?
So I have a soft spot for seniors, only because, and not only, I mean, I had a really sweet relationship with my grandparents. I think I have a lot of patience for that, chapter of life
required
too.
For that community, for sure.
I will say this, I dealt with a lot of older clients in New York, which I was terrified of, right?
Yeah.
They were really hard to deal with. They were mean and grumpy. And as soon as I worked to win them over, I was like, they loved me and we were best friends. Yeah.
Niece that they never had or something.
So there's this I think some older people have this grinding of you. They want to see if you can hang in there.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love winning them over. I love their jokes. I love their humor and also their wisdom in life, So I think I have the patience to deal with them. And I also, that chapter, a lot of my older clients, they're downsizing, right? They've lived in their house sometimes for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
They've accumulated so much furniture, books, just a lot of stuff in their house that they've never purged or gotten rid of. And so it can be extremely overwhelming, especially if they don't have kids around to help them or other family members, if they're doing it all alone.
You almost become I'm also the cleaning crew in my concierge
the whole
service.
The whole thing. So we have a whole team of people that we work with to just really help simplify the process.
Yeah.
We do estate sales. We, get as many of the family members involved as possible as well, communicating with them. So it's a team effort so that we can make it just easy for them to kind of go into that next chapter of downsizing or, moving out of state, whatever it is. But the process of it is what I really enjoy because it's, you do spend a lot more time with them.
For sure.
Explaining the process and how we're going to make it easy and what it looks like. And in those moments is when, a lot of the stories, happen and a lot of their...
You really get to know them.
Yeah. And you pull, so a lot of the times we're walking through their house and kind of looking at things like even photographs, and so we're having to say, we got to declutter, we got to do this. And within that, so many times the photographs, there's so many stories,
bet.
And so that part's it's just really cool because they've lived in a time where we'd never lived in, right? So what
totally
they're
different.
Yeah. So I love that.
One of the things I love, you and I have worked on a number of transactions together. I've said this before. I hope my 4.7 listeners don't get mad. I don't like most real estate agents, and frankly, they may not like me either. No, I mean it. And one of the things I love about your practice and working with you, and this is really more of an affirmation that I want you just to kind of expand on a little bit. So many people in your line of work want to be number one. They want to do more units. They want to build these big teams. They want to do all these things. I've never done that. And I made a switch 6 years ago to get out of the big company I worked for to go back because I miss talking to my clients. So let me bring this full circle. One of the things I love about you and I'm going to call it that white glove service. it seems to me you would rather have an intimate personal relationship with the client going through that experience than having more clients where you don't get to have that engagement with, meaning put your 3 assistants on it. You don't really talk to Maritza, they talk to your team members. I love that about you. And I assume that's intentional, right? You want to have that personal relationships where that client feels like they're the only one that Maritza Bernard knows that day. Fair?
Yeah. No, I mean, so like when I actually never wanted to be a real estate agent. I thought they were so annoying. Like it just was like one of those things with people I've met. It always felt like they were just waiting for that opening. And, you know, and so I didn't have a great impression of a lot of agents. But, you know, my dad's a salesman. And so he'd always say, like, we're in the people business, right? It's not sales, it's people. And so I love people. I love community. Yeah. So when I decided to jump in, I didn't need quantity. I mean, obviously that's great. Sure. But I really wanted quality clients, you know, like someone that we were going to be able to collaborate and it wasn't going to feel like it's a team effort. You know, you got it in order to like have a great transaction, you have to have a client that trusts you, right?
For sure.
And you have to also be willing to listen to their, you know, concerns or anything that might be inhibiting them to move forward in the transaction or something. There's a lot of vulnerability that happens in those moments, and people feel like naked sometimes, like I'm exposing all this. So I think that there has to be this common ground of like, this is all private between us and this is not going to come out anywhere. You're in a safe space.
Yeah, sure.
And so there's a lot of trust in between that. And so I have been really fortunate to work with some incredible people, and it all kind of comes full circle because, you know, those people that start off as a client become dear friends. And then any other thing that comes up in life ventures, you know, events, I don't know, kids stuff, we all kind of find ourselves back together again in other ways
areas
in life.
Isn't that the best, by the way?
It's the best.
Especially in the community that you live in Coto De Caza. I'm very familiar with it.
Totally.
I always call Coto, it's almost like this incestuous cult, not in a bad way, but I mean it. Like I have a lot of friends who live in Coto. One of the things I love about Coto is there seems to be like this community where it doesn't mean you can't go to Rancho Margarita or go to Laguna Niguel, but the people in Coto really like to be with the people in Coto. And I know some people look at that like, oh, they live in Coto. I reframe that. Like the people I know that are there love being there because of the people that are there. Yes. And there is this little cultish thing where they want to spend time with people. They want to work and collaborate and do business with the people there. So let's jump into something about being a working mom and a wife. Okay. Right. So one of the things I know about you is I know how much you love your husband, Bernie. I know how much you love your kids. You're involved in a lot, which I love. This is a question that you probably expect and you probably hear from people. How do you find the balance, right, to be a mom, a wife, a very successful real estate agent in a difficult market? You have a deep relationship with your parents, who I was blessed to meet. And we'll talk in a minute about your charitable passion. How do you find that balance? Is it extra caffeine and no sleep? And because it's balance is difficult. Yeah,
it's funny. It has shifted in the last few years. I feel like when I got started right when COVID hit. And it was bananas, right? Like the market was crazy. I was running like 150 miles an hour and it was amazing. But years go by and I experienced burnout for sure. There was a point where it was like, it just hit and I was like, I need to really prioritize and figure out where I want to be. That led into my kids, the timing of it led into the kids going into high school. So it really was me taking a step back and being like, I need to like make sure that when they're in school, those are truly the hours that I'm using to the best of my ability for work.
You got to maximize in 6 hours what people take 10 for.
I need to get everything done during the day while they're at school so that I can be around after school as much as possible for sports and feeding them and friends and just all the things. So I've been fortunate where, you know, if a client needs me after hours, you know, after 3 p.m. or whatever, of course. I mean, I always figure it out.
Because I always wonder if I'm reaching out to you at like 4 o'clock. I'm like, shoot, I don't want to bother her. 2 kids are in sports.
Oh my gosh.
One might be having a bad day. She's not sure if she should help them or feed them.
No.
And so I'm like, I don't even want to bother her. But you're always extremely responsive.
But also it's like most of the people, almost everyone that I work with and clients too, they know that I'm a mom. And so there's this, if I pick up the phone and I can tell them, hey, it's going to be a little loud. Yeah. I've got kids in the car, but so I can either call you back or is this important where we need to talk right now?
And I think, by the way, everyone responds to that vulnerability because I do the same exact thing.
You pick up the phone sometimes and you're like, I'm doing something.
I got my granddaughter.
Yes.
And by the way, I want to affirm something. Keep doing that because I can tell you when I've coached some people and I've just had friends in the business, they're like, how do you balance it? I'm like, I'm honest with people. And if I got my granddaughter gymnastics, I'll pick up the phone and I'll be like, hey, listen, I got a non-negotiable Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 4:45. You want to talk now or talk at 4:46? What do you want to do?
Totally.
Not one time has anyone ever been like, he's not the right guy for me. Never. Yeah. And I think people appreciate the vulnerability of like, hey, you're important, but how do you want to handle this? No one cares.
It's actually just the picking up the phone, right? 100%. Like I think they appreciate that you're like doing something and you're like, this is important. I'm going to pick it up, but I'm also doing something. I'll get right back to you. So, that's kind of like
trying to find that balance.
And then, I mean, it's not pretty. I'll tell you that. It's a lot of, I think I do well in organized chaos. It's always chaotic. But I kind of love that. I grew up, I'm the oldest of 5 kids. Yeah. So there's always been just so much,
you're used to it.
Constant movement and adjusting. And so
you've been fighting for food your whole life.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. No joke, So, and that's kind of like our house. It's just in and out. And it's funny. I'll have parents call me. It's like, I think my daughter's coming over. I'm like, sure, whatever. I don't know. Maybe she is. Maybe the house is always open to friends and family. And so I love people, so I do really enjoy people. Yeah. Not everyone, but. Well,
I think one of the things you and I have talked about is
good people. I can be
nice to anybody. Yes. And I mean it. I can. I'm a little bit more selective. My wife says I shouldn't say this in public, but I've said it before. I'm at this stage in my life. You're not quite there yet.
I'm entering it though. 40s are like the shedding. Like you shed a lot.
You do. I mean, some people do.
Yeah.
And for me, like I remember recently there was, my kids are great and my wife wants everyone around all the time. And there was a holiday thing and 2 of the 3 kids called me and they're kind of like, we're coming under protest. And I basically told both of them, I said, and I've got this relation with my kids. I said, listen to me very carefully. I said, your mom and I don't give 2 shits about anything but your time. I don't need gifts. I don't need money.
I love
and
that.
my daughter, who I'm very close to, said, Dad, Grandma didn't get this cynical till she was like 75.
It's so good.
You're only 50, whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't give a shit. I said, I a few months back, I'd lost 3 people.
Oh.
In a really short time. And it really impacted me. And that was when my kids were kind of like, oh, we're coming, like, but under protest. And I said, and I'm not that guy that's like, oh, I might die tomorrow. I might, but I might die at 100. And so anyway, I love the shedding comment because I can be nice to anybody. I really only want to spend time with people that I really want to spend time with because I don't want to inherit someone else's drama and pain and some of that stuff. And we had the same thing, like every kid can come over. I'm not serving you beer. Here's energy drinks and M&Ms, as many as you want.
Yeah.
But I don't care. So I didn't mean to get emotional. Let me go back and do something else about business. Because when you inherently want to help older people buy and sell real estate, especially in California, what you're also inherently going to start dealing with, which I know you've been doing more and more of the last couple of years, is helping them help their kids.
Yeah.
So we're having those same conversations with our kids. A couple of them want to move out of state to buy a home. We're like, let's see if we can help.
Yeah.
And so we're going through what you're really passionate about right now. Spend a few minutes on that. Like, how has that experience been where if your older clients know how detailed you are with them, now you're trying to help them keep their kids next door.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I think what we're seeing, we're really blessed to live in Orange County, right? Like it's a lot of people leave and then regret it and want to come back and they've gotten priced out. We saw it. So we've been talking a lot about like to pair, and I actually have a few clients that have purchased properties that they can lease out in the meantime, but with the purpose of having their kids eventually move in, and pay them rent or maybe gift it to them down the line.
Sure.
But it's a good way for them to start somewhere, like have a starting ground.
Great place.
Just because it's just getting so expensive, and it's harder and harder for these young people who graduate, a lot of them with debt, to, start saving and make all the ends meet in order, and, just saving for a home.
Yeah.
So,
especially where we live.
Yeah, where we live.
One of the three highest real estate markets in the United States of America. I mean, I'm like you. I don't want to live anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult for that community to be able to save money.
Yes.
They can afford it.
Yes.
Like a lot of my first time buyers, they can afford the monthly payment.
Yep.
They don't have $50,000 to $300,000 to come up with. And that's maybe where the parents are coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of a lot of our clients that are parents, we live in a really financially, privileged area.
Yeah.
And so it's not for everyone,
Right.
but if they have money that they want to, invest in somewhere, and so this is a great way to help with the down payment and help their kids out.
Sure.
And then, I joke because it's like, I have clients that have sons, and I know people that have sons, and they've purchased a property for their son. And, a lot of wives dictate where they end up living. And so
course.
what new bride wouldn't want to be like, we just bought you, this place, in Dana Point, start here.
Right.
Where the moms can keep their sons a little closer to home.
You got to trick them.
There's like a little bit of
100%.
It always helps, right?
100%.
To hand that off. So
my wife and I have that conversation right now.
You kind of joke about it, but
seriously, let's bribe our kids.
Yeah.
Let's find a way to help them invest in real estate.
Totally.
Let's bless them with the money now instead of when we die.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, and let's secretly control the narrative, because if they buy a home here, we see them more. If they go to Texas or Idaho, then I got to get on an airplane.
I know. It's so true. So I mean, those are conversations that we're having. And I think I think a lot of people are like, are you kidding me? I'm not buying my child a home that's so they should work for it themselves or whatever.
Yeah.
I understand that. Like I was never gifted anything. Neither was Bernie. Like we did everything on our own. But I do think things are so different now than when we were, 20 years ago buying a home. And so I don't know. It's trying to help them to see that you're not really spoiled. You're just being smart. It's a smart move, right? And so it's just helping them out. So
I can affirm your passion for your clients trying to do that. The majority of my first-time home buyers right now are coming to me from my clients that are in their 60s and 70s, right? People I've known for 30 years. And I think our generation, my kids freaked out when they heard I had a paper route at 12, right? And by the way, you could have a paper route in 1980, right? But I'll tell you, I love what you just said, because I think we all, as parents, we just want to instill great things into our kids. And sometimes there's a little bit of background noise from our community, and I don't really care what you think I'm doing with my kid. However, 2 of my 3 kids I would do it for easily. The other one, we'd have to work on it a little bit because the other one's just not as great with the finances as the other 2. But I do think there's a lot to be said of, listen, you want to go to Texas? I'm going to come fly to Texas.
Yeah.
You want to stay here? I think sometimes our generation forgets, my kids laugh. When I die and go to heaven, they're going to have some extra money.
Yeah.
I don't feel like if they're going to make the payment, if they're going to pay for the water heater when it breaks, if they're going to fix the crack in the wall, if they're going to paint the room, I'll come help paint a room.
Yeah.
I feel like for Chris and I, we're just kind of helping them now instead of wait until I die.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I want them around me now versus staking their own claim? And
I
there's
think
a balance.
There's a balance.
Yeah.
There's a balance. And I think, again, every household has it's like you said, it will benefit some kids and it might not the other. Or
some people may not want their kids around.
And the other ones will be ungrateful. So it really does depend. But in the situations where it does make sense, I mean, it really is a huge blessing and long-term,
for sure.
It's in the family.
Keep them close. Let's stay on real estate for a couple more quick things. What do you think the biggest challenge is for a home buyer, especially your first-time home buyers that maybe mom and dad are trying to help them? What do you think the biggest challenge is for them for 2026?
Oh, gosh. I mean, homes continue to appreciate. I mean, they've come down a little bit, but
just the price point.
They just keep going up. And so that's the part where it's like, you hate hearing it over and over. It's like, buy now, buy now, buy now. But it really is like trying to get into something sooner than later it's shown, right? Like prices continue to move up. So that part has been, the people that were like, we're just going to wait. Now, 5 years later, it's like, oh
they
my
lost
gosh.
20%.
Yeah.
And I think I get those same challenges. And I've got this great software I've had for like 22 years. And one of the great things about it is it shows home appreciation. I can put in whatever number I want in there. And the more to that story is, it doesn't mean everyone says yes when I can overcome the objection. But people don't realize if you buy $1 million house, which is scary that's entry level where we live.
It's insane. You say it and it's insane.
If you buy $1 million house and it only appreciates 3% a year, you know how hard it is to save $30,000 in cash?
Yeah.
But when you own and yes, the naysayers are gonna be like, real estate goes up and down. It does. But when you live in an area like here, we continue to go up faster than anyone else in the country. We also go down slower in, I'd say, the normal markets, south of $1.5 million. Yeah. You go to a $4 million house, it's going to be a big price drop. But I know, same as you, try and share people, none of us are Warren Buffett. None of us can predict the market.
In our next life.
Yeah, right? That guy can predict or move a market.
Yeah.
You and I that's not who we are. And I think people get caught up in I'm just going to wait. Well, you could be waiting, for the wrong thing to a certain degree. One other thing on real estate, sellers, 2026, have they caught up with the reality that you're not getting 9 offers? Like, because I know when you go on a listing appointment, I know you're going to present well.
Yeah.
Is that a common objective coming from the sellers of like, I still think my home is worth X, and you got to try and be like, it was during COVID, and now it's probably here.
It's gotten better. I will say that. I mean, I think the first thing is we kind of say like it's a buyer's market right now, and
still,
going in like that, they do understand it's not what it was. I mean, the hardest is when they paid those COVID prices, and now we're here, right?
Yeah.
It really just depends. But like I said, I mean, most of the people that I end up working with, it's a collaboration, right?
Sure.
And so if you're telling me what you want and you are firm that it needs to sell for this, and I'm seeing that the comps are not giving that information, I mean, I'm not going to be the right agent for you, because I want it to work. And so in order for it to work, you got to trust me. So we can kind of price it a little higher than I normally would, but I'm not going to, if it's kind of like outrageous,
that's one of the things.
Be honest with them.
I'm going to give you another affirmation so you can go home and tell Bernie, Chris says I do all these things great. And I'm going to tell Jeremy, the production guy, that last comment you made is going to be my best reel. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. I'm sick and tired of defending real estate agents. I know I said I don't like most real estate agents. The majority of real estate agents that I am fortunate enough to work with feel the same exact way. And it doesn't mean that we all don't need the commission. It doesn't mean our kids don't need new soccer cleats that are not $80 anymore. I love that about you, and I know that about you, and I know that about the team that you lead, because I think some people are afraid to set the right expectation to a client. And you and I both know if someone thinks their home's worth 4.1 and you're like, the last one sold for 3.5, that if they're going to find someone to list it. And that real estate agent's going to spend money that they're not getting back. They're going to spend time that they're not getting back. And I love that about you, that you want to maybe push the envelope a little bit, but you're also willing to say, listen, this is where I shine. And if that's what you want, I'm not the right fit for you. So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Because I have a story I won't bore the podcast with about my first loan that I ever did in my career.
I love it.
How was that in the very beginning? And I know you have a husband who has a good job also, but you're working, you want to try to make some money. How does that go in the very beginning when like you're trying to figure out like, oh my gosh, this is my first deal and I'm never going to sell it for that price, but I want the deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And especially in the beginning of your career, that's a hard balance.
I mean, I have a very strong faith, and I think coming into doing this line of business, it was one of those things where I really believed that God was going to put everything in line for me. And I still believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, he has sent me so many incredible clients. And so I was able to say yes to everyone because it kind of just worked out that way. Now, there has been 2 where I said yes, knowing that it was going to be really difficult, but one was basically like a favor because it was a client that was going through a really hard time. And, and I kind of went against a lot of the things that I was like, my gut was like, oh gosh, oh God, no, this isn't good. You're uphill the whole way. It was, and it's funny, Annie was like, and I was like, gosh, and I feel this when I feel like I shouldn't. She was like, okay, you know what? Do it. And sure enough, it was the hardest transaction. Just in the sense of time. So like, as you know, we talk about the shedding time. Like if there's anything that's important to me, it's time.
Of course.
I hate wasting time. I love doing things, work, anything where it's worth it. It's, you know, and I don't mean to sound that like, oh, it's not worth it, but I'm very particular on who I spend time with and how I spend it. And,
well, you're limited on it.
And in work as well,
For
you know? So that was one. And the house sold and whatever, but it was painful because there was a number that we were tied to. And it was just, we weren't getting that, you know? And so, so that was one. But the second one was, I had a client that wanted me to represent, like they wanted to lease out their house. Beautiful house, down south in San Clemente. And, the list of things that were needed, I mean, the demands, it was a lot.
Which, by the way, for those listeners who don't know, a lease doesn't pay very well.
No, and again, I'm happy to do. I mean, we do leases. I don't care. It doesn't
You'll
matter.
Service the client, but
business
still.
is business, right? Because again, you're meeting people, and they refer. It's all just experience and time with people, and so. But this particular one, I mean, I walked in and I was like, oh gosh, this is not a good feeling. This one's going to be tough. So I did my list of things that needed to be done in order to list the property. And he handed me his lists and demands that needed. And I went back and sat with it and spoke with Annie because I felt, you know, I don't want to reject business. You know, I'll still try. But this one was so out of alignment, you know, with how what it was going to look like. There was no trust being given. You know, it was being dictated. And I wrote back and it was like, I hear everything that you're saying. This is, I can do all of this, but you're also going to have to give me something. And here's my, you know, these are the things that I'm asking for to get done and what I need. I mean, it was like professional photography, which is like a no-brainer, which I thought. Never responded back. I mean, we went through the whole thing. It was 3 weeks of, you know, back and forth and it was fine. It was like, you know, and it got listed at exactly the way he wants and it's still on the market. You know, it's been on for like 4 months.
Isn't that, I'll tell you what I love about that. The second loan I did in my career, 1993, was from a car wash owner and I didn't say no. I knew what I was getting into. And this guy took my $900 commission back then, down to almost $200. And every time there was a new problem, I was just subservient to him.
Oh gosh,
My wife was my processor. That's how Chris and I met. And years later, she said, do you know that you made 87 cents an hour on David Starachi? She remembered his name.
Oh my gosh.
And I will tell you, it was one of the best lessons I ever learned because I don't know if I was strong enough to state my value proposition. I don't know if I was strong enough to exude the confidence. Like, listen, I'm going to care about you more than anyone else. And that one loan taught me, like you, I'll fight for a $100,000 manufactured loan for a good client. I will. But it taught me how to really understand, like, where am I going to bring value and where am I just another cog in the wheel where someone just wants to try and do something. And what I love most about what you said is you were still willing to entertain the demand, which you knew was extensive, as long as he could at least come with a little bit.
Totally.
And the fact that he wouldn't even give you and say like, okay, listen, you're going to meet all my crazy demands. You only want this? I'm in. Then at least I think you could have had a meeting of the minds.
Oh yeah.
But because
and it would have worked. I know it could have worked.
It was all one-sided. I love that. Okay. Let's spend a few minutes and go back to some personal, some quick fun things, and then I want to talk about City of Hope because that's what I really.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes.
Couple quick minutes on fun things. Bernie's a Ranger fan, so now you're a Ranger fan, right? Do you guys watch hockey?
My entire family does. Yeah. Okay. So my kids, everyone, they're diehards.
So the kids are all now Ranger fans. Okay. So let me tell you something that sucks about my kids.
What?
I'm a psychotic sports fan. My wife like watching the kids. I'm a psychotic sports fan. Coached them all. took them to every sporting event. Not one of my kids likes one of my 3 favorite teams.
Okay, what are your teams? And you said Mets.
Well, no, Mets is I've got a friendship. I have a longer story that I won't bore with. I'm a lifelong Pittsburgh Pirates fan, which is not good.
Okay.
I'm a lifelong Tennessee Titans fan. Terrible today, used to be Houston Oilers. And I'm a lifelong Philadelphia 76ers fan. So I've had a lot of misery.
Yeah.
But the moral of that story is when my 26-year-old son was 13, he became an Indianapolis Colts fan, who was the Titans' biggest rival.
Stop.
So I take him to Nashville on a Thursday night football game. He puts on his friggin' Peyton Manning jersey. I got my Titans jersey on. And here's what happens. The Colts beat the shit out of the Titans.
Oh my gosh.
And I got all the Colts fans coming up and high-fiving my son. I'm like, I just spent $2,000 and I don't have one kid that'll put on a hat. I got to bribe them to put on a hat. It's terrible.
That is actually really funny.
I'm ready to find new kids.
That's great stories though. That's a great
story.
Maritza. I mean, come on. It's like entertaining.
Thank you for indulging me.
That one time when Dad lost, I was there. I mean, he's got the best story now. I mean, you also paid for it.
My therapist is continuing to rack up money when I get to talk about it. So I love that. Where did the Golden State Warriors come into play? If Bernie's from back east,
you
guys are huge Warriors fans.
Yeah,
family, everyone's.
Actually, I don't even know how that happened. I have no idea. Well, it was Steph Curry. So I know it was Steph Curry. I mean, so my little guy, Leo's upset. So I've got 2 kids that play basketball, and I didn't grow up playing basketball, but we're another big basketball family.
Yeah.
And so I don't remember where that shifted, but yes, we are big Warriors fans. I've taken Leo, I've surprised him and taken him at a game last minute against the Lakers, and that was amazing. And he's still young, but yeah. So Warriors
set you
and
back
Rangers,
a couple card payments.
I mean, it's all worth it, right?
It is.
Just got to sell a house.
I got to sell a house to take my kid to Staples Center.
Oh God,
for a game.
Yeah, it was a special night. It was such a special night. Yeah, and we don't get those often, like one-on-one time when you have multiple kids. It's really hard to get that one-on-one time. So last year was a great year where I was very specific on spending one-on-one time with them. And it changes every year. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't. But we did do a lot of that last year, which was fun. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was super fun.
One other fun thing, and then we're going to talk about City of Hope. I love that your last meal on earth is any pasta in Italy.
Any carb. I love pasta.
You've been to Italy before?
Yes.
How many times have you gone?
I think we've been 3 now. So we renewed it was our 15-year anniversary. So we actually renewed our vows there when we went.
Oh, how beautiful.
It was really cool.
I love that. Just quick bullet questions. Favorite region in Italy?
Oh gosh. Probably Cinque Terre.
Okay. Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah. Oh, been there, done that.
No, I've only been there once for 2 days. I've been there twice. I'll tell you the thing about Italy that I love. So I'm not overweight, but I battle my weight my whole life. I can go up 5 down. Thank you. I'm 6'1". I typically wear black to thin it out. But I'll tell you, it's crazy. The last time Chris and I went to Italy, we were on a cruise and we had some land and we did some stuff. And when I tell you, I ate pizza, pasta, and gelato as much as I could every day. And so the long story short is the last stop was in Venice. I always like to buy one piece of clothing from somewhere, anywhere I go.
What kind of clothing? Like, what are you looking at?
It doesn't really matter.
Nothing?
Normally, I love to find
button down, tie?
It could be a shirt. No tie. Usually a pair of pants. Or it could be a pair of shoes that I can't get somewhere. So we're in Venice, and I find this really great pair of pants, kind of short for men. This cool casual black jacket, very expensive, and it was just a hair snug. But I told myself, I'm like, I've been eating like a truck. I'm going to get home. I'm going to drop 5 pounds. Here's what happens, Maritza. After 15 days gone, I came home and I was 3 pounds lighter from Italian pizza, pasta, wine. I believe it. By the way, I haven't put those pants on yet. But one of the things I love about Italian food is you got pasta. It's just so different. Yeah. So I love that would be like your last meal on earth. You're like, any pasta or carbohydrate in Italy.
Yeah. Well, I can't have dairy here. And in Italy, I can have cheese. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I go crazy. It's a little too much. But same thing. It's like, you feel fine. You are walking all day. One of my best friends lives in Switzerland. And so the first night that we stayed with them before we headed down to Italy. We stayed with her and her husband. And he made pasta from scratch, you know? And so at my house, I make a huge pot of pasta that kids just come through the day and eat out of.
Yeah.
And when we went there, he like made this little, you know, I think we started with the pasta or something. There's like a way to do it, but it was like one little scoop of pasta per person, and then it was gone. And my kids, they were like devoured it, and they were like, where's the pot? Yeah. Where's the pot? And he's like, no, that's it. That's all you get. I mean, so we're a little aggressive in how much pasta we eat.
Yeah. I was born and raised with my grandfather, Italian.
Okay.
He didn't talk. He was great, but he didn't really speak
that.
much. Yeah.
Okay.
And so my grandmother would make my grandpa George this plate of pasta. And as grandkids, when we'd go to his house, we were born and raised on spaghetti because it was cheap and it was Italian.
Yeah.
My grandfather, we used to laugh to this day. My grandma would bring him a big plate. My grandfather would put his head down and he would do this thing, right?
Oh my gosh.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
And then my grandma, Nicoletta was her name, she would just bring him another like plate. And I think as kids, we just got used to eating so much pasta.
Yeah.
The one last thing on Italy, I'll say, I don't really drink wine. My wife likes wine.
Same. Yeah.
But I drink wine in Italy because
it's so different.
Everyone says the same thing.
It's so different.
Taste is, let's say taste is the same. It's lighter, the sugars.
Yeah.
I even if I have 2 glasses of wine, like in Italy, I wake up, I feel great.
Yeah, you feel fine.
If I have even one glass of wine with Chris or something that says, I feel like crap the next day.
Yeah.
And that's where Italy's really got it cornered between the food and the wine.
Yeah. I mean, my kids, when we talk about traveling, like every year, we're like, what trip? Where would you want to go? They always say Italy.
You want to go back
and because we're like, we love food. And that's like where it has something for everyone, you know? And so it's just, I like
my kids
traveling
loved
for
it.
Food.
Yeah. I travel for food too. I want to get ready to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I want to spend our last 5 minutes on City of Hope.
Okay.
You know, one of the reasons I think I'm your friend. I hope you think that. One of the reasons I love being in a relationship with you is I love being in relationships with people that serve others. And I don't care what that serving looks like. It literally could be, I'm going to help you take your trash out on Wednesdays. It could be, and you know, I love being involved in organizations like that. So I love it when someone's passionate about something that they invest their time. So quick plug for you.
Yeah.
You do the Coto De Caza home tour every year. And really the benefit of it is for the City of Hope, really with an asterisk around cancer. You're very, very passionate about that. Don't take this wrong. I don't care why you've had so much success building that thing. I mean, I do. When I got to attend last year, it was a gift to watch how many people were there for a great cause, but really because of their relationships with you. So I love that.
Oh.
But don't self-deprecate. It's true. People come to those things because they believe in what you believe in. That's what friends do. Give me 5 minutes on City of Hope. How do you get passionate about cancer? How did you align with City of Hope? And tell us about the upcoming event that I can't wait to support again, but maybe for the now 7.3 listeners, why someone else might want to.
So it's interesting. So when I first got into real estate, you know, there's some spectacular agents in Coto De Caza that have been doing it for like 20, 30, 40 years.
Sure.
So I really started as a way to like market myself selfishly. Like, how can I kind of differentiate myself around everyone? And I copied the Newport Harbor CDM home tour, and I thought, we have some amazing homes in Coto. We should be doing this.
Yeah.
But after the first year, and like, honestly, the energy in the room and how excited everyone was about it, and then the feedback, I realized like, this has nothing to do with work. This is about our community, you know? And so when it started, I mean, we wanted to raise money for something. And it was just at that time, Annette Walker had just joined City of Hope. And so she was the president there. And she's a Coto resident. Yeah. Okay. And also like I grew up with her. She's my best friend.
I was going to say.
So it's all connected. Yeah.
Okay,
wonderful, wonderful person, their whole family. And so it just was the timing. Honestly, it just was the timing of it. And we were talking and it was like, why don't we help Annette with her vision at City of Hope? And so I got to see it from there was just dirt on the ground and see the stages of it being built and also the people that are there, the doctors, you know, her whole team, they're just good. They're good people. And so that's kind of where it just, you know, the event stems from the generosity of our community. And that's where Coto is so special because so many people want to give. Yeah. And they're just trying to figure out what to
Sometimes
give
they don't
to.
know how.
Yeah.
Right.
And so cancer is something that unfortunately we've all been touched by, right?
Of
You know
course.
someone or
Sure.
you have, and she has personally, helped so many people. And so
Yeah.
I think after year 2 that we did this event, and it's a 1-day event where people open up their homes, people buy tickets. We only sell 300 tickets. So
Yeah.
it is a very intimate,
Yeah.
event.
I love that, by the way.
It's great. And that's, we've talked about selling more, and I just think that it's actually perfect for what it is because it sells out every year, and
Yeah.
it really is so intimate.
People want to be part of it, by the way.
They want to be part of it.
If there's
It's
only
small.
300 tickets, they're like, wait a second.
Yeah. And
I don't want FOMO.
It doesn't feel like an open house or just like people just going through the homes. It really is people walk into these homes. And so we have vendors that come and set up in the home. So it really feels like you're in this home as a guest.
Yeah.
And you're drinking something and you're eating something. You're talking to the homeowners or the designers that are there or the landscape artists. So you're building these other relationships while you're there, and you really are. And it's also an event where people are running into old neighbors that they used to live down the street,
seeing their friends.
and now they moved away, but
I
now
love
they're
that.
seeing friends and
Yeah.
reconnecting. So it is a really special day.
Yeah.
And people get really excited. And there's homeowners, like we had one homeowner that, he opened up his house for the 3 hours and he didn't want it to end. And he was like, just come back. It went all
Oh my
night,
gosh, I
so
love that.
people love making new connections and form,
Yeah.
so it's a really special day. Where I'm just fortunate to live there where we have these people that
Yeah.
are so, giving of their time. And that's
Yeah.
like my committee, the girls that are on the committee. I mean, we are all moms. We don't make any money off of this. Like this
Yeah.
is their time. And I'm so grateful to them because they put in all their time, effort. They do things that they're not comfortable with, like asking people to donate or money. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to ask people for money, but they do it anyways.
Yeah.
And so there is so many people in our community that give back and want to give back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many years have you been doing it?
This will be our 4th year.
4th year.
Yeah.
How much money did you raise last year?
I think in total we've raised through all 3
Yeah.
years, we've raised about a little under 200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love affirming people. If Chris were here, my wife, she'd say, my husband's really well at affirming what someone's doing, because I think sometimes people can be like, oh, I wouldn't do it that way, or you shouldn't do that. Don't take this wrong. If she were on the microphone, she'd also say, but let me tell you what he
I
did.
can't wait to meet her. I can't wait to
There's
meet her.
a reason I don't want you to. But she'll say something like, yeah, but let me tell you what he screwed up on in 2004. I want to affirm something to you. I started a cornhole tournament. My wife and I, deeply ingrained at the Orange County Rescue Commission. And I brought this huge provisor contingency, 100 people. My friends came, which I loved. I think the first year we raised, I don't know, I'm going to say like $12,000 or something.
Yeah.
Next year we did it, we raised like $23,000. And here's what I'm going to affirm to you. I had a little pity party when I came home to my wife. And she's like, oh my gosh, the turnout was great. All your friends were there. I'm like, we're not raising enough money. I'm like, I didn't get enough money. And so every once in a while when my wife can, if I haven't done something wrong, when she looks at me, she can speak to me better than anyone. And she says, I've heard you talk to people all the time. It has nothing to do with the amount of money that you're raising. What you're doing is you're creating an awareness in a community. And so let me tell you what happened. I introduced a friend of mine to the Orange County Rescue Mission, faith-based organization, very strong Christian values. He's a very strong Jew, and I tell him that all the time. And I tell him his only mistake is he hasn't read the second half of the book, but that's a different conversation. He's a dear friend of mine. I introduced him to the Orange County Rescue Mission for some sort of philanthropic thing. 2 months later, he donated $25,000.
Oh my gosh.
And so here's your affirmation.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I love what you're doing. $200,000 is still a lot of money. There's going to be some years where I know all of your hard work and all of your moms. I know a couple of them because I've been fortunate enough to help them with their mortgages. No matter how much money you raise, keep doing it, because you're going to touch the life of someone who has cancer, who has someone who's going through cancer, or who comes into a financial windfall, or has a wake up one morning of like, I can help and be and do more.
Yeah.
And you're going to have, every year you do it, you're going to have more people come alongside you. You're going to have more people give money. And I don't care how much you raise. I want you to know, coming to that event was really fun.
Thank you.
I can only tell you, as long as you're balancing of your time, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're building community, you're bringing awareness, and that, I know you. That's more important than any of the money you're going to raise. I wish we had 7 hours. I'm glad Bernie and Chris
This
are.
is so fun.
Yeah, I'm glad Bernie and Chris are not here because we'd bring out a bottle of wine, and I mean it. She would tell you 6 great things about me, and I'm not boasting. My wife would
you're
say,
the best.
Thank you. My wife would say some nice things about me, but she would say to people, let me tell you what happened when he went to Vegas and he didn't tell me about it or something like that.
I remember you just told me.
Yeah.
That.
So I'm really glad we got to. So before we wrap up, what I want you to do is I want you to look in that camera and I want you to tell people if they want to connect with you about buying or selling real estate in South County, and or even maybe if they're interested in the City of Hope and your Coto tour, how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, so the easiest way is on Instagram. I'm at Maritza Perez Bernard. And then the Coto De Caza home tour, Instagram's great too, at Coto De Caza home tour.
Yeah, and we'll publish all of those links so that we can try and get that message out as much as we can. I think you can tell, like I think of Maritza as a younger sister because I'm so much older than her.
Right.
And I love being in community with her because we are passionate about serving others and our kids and our spouses and our families. However, she's an absolute expert in residential real estate. And if you are looking to buy or sell in South Orange County, she's one of my favorite go-tos. She's got a team that she partners with that's also in Newport Beach. Reach out to Maritza if you're older than me and you want to buy or sell real estate. You can tell she's passionate about the intimate relationship.
I love all ages, not
she
just.
She doesn't discriminate. And if you're older and you want to help your kids figure out how to buy real estate and keep them close to you without letting them know you're tricking them, please reach out to Maritza. She's an absolute pro at what she does, but you can tell she cares way more about the intimate, personal side of life than anything. So please reach out to her. Thanks for coming on, Maritza.
Thank you for having me.